Whole CEO with Lisa G. I'm the best-selling author of The Boss Weight Loss. I'm bringing you the top tips to be unstoppable. This is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to actually pull up a chair with today's top experts in weight loss, mindset, and business. Learn our top tips to set you up for success so that you can have more energy, be fit and resilient, and feel unstoppable. Hey you guys, I'm so excited. I'm here with Mark Hamade, and Cardiff has decided to join us too. I'll give you guys a little background on Mark. He's a partner at Stealth Fund, speaker, VC, mentor, advisor on blockchain, former PE partner, beat wheelchair and stage 4 cancer, 7 surgeries, and down 253 pounds. He's a USMC veteran, conscious capitalist, strategic visionary, and innovative leadership with offices in Mexico, the Middle East, Europe, Asia, and the Far East. So welcome.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate that.
Oh, so nice to have both of you guys join us. This is really special. I love it. And I just know that with all you've been through physically, I want to talk about being unstoppable today and just address how you've managed to live with chronic pain.
Yeah, so you know what? I think people create fear, right? You have skiers who are amazing skiers, and they don't fear it. Yet I might be scared of going down the mountain. So I've realized fears in our own mind. So you have to tackle that. So the way I've tackled pain is I felt, even now with chronic pain and when I throw up blood and stuff, I feel like God allowed me to live through stage 4 cancer for a reason. But there are people who have died who want to live. There are people who died having stage 4 cancer who want to live probably more than me. And so I live for them. So I feel instead of being selfish and being sad and whining about my pain and so forth, because that's how it initially started, I'm like, no. I have an opportunity to live while others don't. So let me enjoy it and let me be thankful. So nothing ever gets me bothered, whether it's a late pedicure appointment, traffic for 3 hours in LA, I embrace it. It's part of life. If there's that much traffic, if there's 100,000 people that want to get on your podcast, yes, it might be stressful, but take it as exhilarating. It's exciting, right? It's exciting to be wanted. It's exciting to have those. So I look at those things as, instead of problems, as possibilities. And at the end of the day, nothing's gonna go wrong, right? No matter what happens, it happens. You miss a flight, big deal. So having the anxiety doesn't solve anything at all. All it does is cause more problems.
So it's going to be what it's going to be, and your perspective and attitude and mindset are what keep you focused on not focusing on the pain.
Yes, absolutely. It's all in your brain. How you control your brain is so much. If you control your brain to not eat something, you won't eat it, right? If you control your brain to understand emotional intelligence, you can do it. Now, I'm not saying it's easy. Don't get me wrong, right? But you look at Gandhi, you look at Mother Teresa, you look at some of the world's leaders, right? Everything goes through your brain. And how you control that allows you to succeed or not succeed or whatever. It's not easy, but your brain, look, pinch yourself. When you pinch yourself and you say, ouch, it's your brain that's telling you it's that. Most people have a bad herniated disc, but very few like me, it's hitting the nerve. Once it hits the nerve, that's when you feel the pain. And what mechanism is telling you to feel the pain? Your brain. That's why when you're sleeping, you might be in pain but not know. Then when you get up, you're like, ouch, right?
So it's a focus thing. So you just don't focus on the pain.
Yep.
And what happens when we get triggered? I mean, oftentimes people get triggered and they want to emotionally react, or they want to go for that cookie. Do you have any tips on that?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, you have to reset yourself and ask yourself, why are you going for that cookie? Are you going for that cookie? Go watch for the Food Channel. If you watch the Food Channel, you're going to want to eat that cookie, right? If you watch some disgusting animal eating another animal, you won't want to eat that cookie, right? So it's all about perspective. I always look at why are you doing something, right? Why are you doing something? And remind yourself for that.
I love that. I love focusing on the why too. Why do you want it more than why do you want the cookie? Why do you want the weight loss? And how did you lose 253 pounds too? Let's tackle all that
Okay, so
stuff.
so 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 when I was in a wheelchair and I wanted to lose the weight, I did like everybody else did. Now, the one thing God gave me, thank God, is common sense. Okay, forget intelligence, forget everything. The most important thing is common sense. So I'm in a wheelchair saying, okay, I'm gonna try to lose 150 pounds just to be healthy, before I get so big and then I lose my legs and then I have diabetes, right? I mean,
Right.
that's common sense. And I'm like, well, let me look at a diet. So I looked into a diet and I'm like, oh my God, there's over 10,000 diets. There's $50 billion in the industry. And obviously diets don't work. So I don't believe in diets. I don't believe in cheating. I believe in lifestyle change. So I'm like, I've got to figure out how to eat properly. That way, if I'm not Jack LaLanne and I'm 80 years old and I get in a wheelchair again, I will not gain weight. And in order to do that, it's a lifestyle change of eating healthy. So it took me 3 years to lose that weight, but about 9 years total. 3 years to lose the weight, 3 years to not deal with depression, and 3 years to put it all together with working out. I always say working out, it's like sculpting a diamond. You have to have a beautiful diamond, right? Like you get it from, let's say, uh, uh, Cartier. But then how it looks is so important. So the gym is the sculpting part, right?
Right.
But what do you do more than anything else? Really, drink water and eat. That consumes us. So that you have to do properly. Now, because I love to eat, I'm like, okay, let me do small portions 8 to 9 times a day. So if I have 8 meetings, I can keep eating, but small. And so when I'm in New York at a 8 a.m. meeting and it's a 15, like a 2-pound burrito, I'll eat 4 ounces, pack the rest, and every meeting I go, put it in the fridge and eat it later. Or if it's not good, then eventually throw it out, but not just eat the whole thing. So then you don't have the depression of not eating. And so I always, you have to work your way that fits your style. So there is no one fit box for everybody. I
I
don't believe
agree.
in that.
I
So
agree.
so so if you love to eat, eat. Now, when I stay up till 4 in the morning, which I don't recommend, but we all do it at one time or another. Let's say you're excited, you have a relative over or whatever. Do you continue to eat? Yes. Because look, your body doesn't say to you, oh, you're sleeping now. So if you're awake, you're awake. So I tell people it's 9 a.m. You can't just eat 10 pounds of food and tell your body, oh, I want you to burn this at 11, 12, 2. Your body takes it all in and says, I know you don't need all of that. So I'm turning it to fat. So you're
Absolutely.
so your body again also knows. Just like if you try to cheat your body with fake sugar, it eventually figures it out and turns that to fat. So part of being human is getting rid of your ego and having confidence. That's why moms do so well, right? Because when they raise a child, okay, they don't throw the child across the street. They don't beat the child, right? They nurture it. When a baby's crying, it's figuring out why is it crying? Is it an earache? What is it? That empathy allows the mom to figure it out. That's why women who are moms and parents are able to run great companies. And people are like, oh my God, she was a mom. How could she run a company? Well, most employees are like children. It's easy. She figures out why they're not performing, why they're not doing well, and she helps them, right? Instead of sitting there and yapping about blah, 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 and what's wrong. And that's why you see a lot of females who have been moms for like 5, 8 years get into the workforce and they do tremendous, tremendous. And let's forget, I have this cup that says any woman can be a mother, but it takes someone special to be a mom. That's the same thing with a dad. I tell people there's a difference between being a dad and being a provider, right?
Absolutely.
So and I
Providing
just
is easier than being a dad.
Exactly. And the same thing with having a pet or whatever. So sometimes when you're by yourself, it's easy to be selfish. You can throw your clothes all over the floor. You don't have to do anything. You have no responsibilities. You can go to every party. You can go to M&M's parties, blah, blah, blah. But when you have family and children and so forth, you have to prioritize. It becomes much different.
So losing weight is a matter of prioritizing, and diets will work. So finding a system that's a lifestyle change for you, and it starts with the food and then adding in the exercise is what helped you lose the weight.
Absolutely. And the most important thing is this. Look, life, when you were born, your mom, grandma, whoever raised you said, Lisa, please, I need you to do well so you can support me and support your family. Okay? That's what life is about to begin with. You're not born to be, okay, you're born now, you're going to be a fitness instructor and or a passionate speaker, and here's your Rolls Royce, or here's that. The whole point of life is to live life and enjoy it. Otherwise, it's eat shit and die. So you have to put that in perspective. So then, the healthier you are, the better you are. It's like I've told a billionaire who said to me, "I'm smarter than Richard Branson," and I said, "You may be, but you're not as smart as the smartest you." So the more optimized you are, the healthier you are, the better we get Elisa, the better Mark, right? So you want to be, so I would say, I want to make each person the greatest they can be. And I'll tell employees, even if you're mediocre, I want you to be the best mediocre you can be.
Right.
Right?
I
so
love it.
If you win the marathon in 4 hours, but the next year you do it in 3 hours, that means you weren't the best you that first year, even if you beat everybody else, right?
Right.
All you have to compete is about being the best you, not anybody else.
I agree. And since we're talking about nutrition and exercise, and I believe obviously health is wealth, and you're into all of this stuff, and nutrition and fitness and sleep. Do you want to touch upon the importance of sleep for
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, sleep is so important because of your cortisol level and how you feel. Okay, so I look at it like if you stay awake and stay awake and stay awake, you're not letting your body rest and giving it the time to recuperate.
Right.
Now, it can still look good. Look at a Ferrari, right? A Ferrari is beautiful. Now, you can go put it at Enterprise and have 1,000 people rent it and not know what happens to it.
Right.
And it can come back looking beautiful, right? But that doesn't mean under the hood it went out. And the same thing with us, right? So when people tell me, oh, I don't need any sleep, maybe you don't, but you really don't know. You don't know till you have that heart attack or that stroke or whatever, because what you don't test, you don't know. You can't look, just like there are models that have high metabolism. You can have a beautiful body and be unhealthy.
Absolutely. Right? I see it all the time. The skinny fat.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, your face, God gives us our faces, okay? So people who have ugly faces, it's, you feel bad for them, but God gave it to them, right? People with beautiful faces, God gave them to them, right? And so that piece, don't tell me you work on it. You didn't work on anything. God blesses people with certain things, but that has nothing to do with health. It's like the mental aspect too. If I'm mentally happy, you could have everything. You could have money, everything, and something tells you inside you, I'm not happy, I'm depressed. Well, I can't tell you, well, just be happy, you have everything. No, each person is different, and each person is able to take on something differently. And so when I work with people, I tell them, just because I did it this way doesn't mean you can do it this way. Right. And there are certain things, and so people tell me, how come I haven't gained weight again? And I'm like, because maybe I won't lose it the next time. You can't take things for granted and just assume you can just keep doing that.
Absolutely. And I'm so glad that you brought up the mental health aspect, because I know you're obviously so passionate about all this stuff, and I love your passion. And I know every 40 seconds someone commits suicide. And if we truly care about people and each other, then this needs to be a priority. So I understand you've been doing some research in this department.
Yeah. So when you look at it, right, when people say, I want to clean the environment, I want this. Well, if you take the planet and you get rid of all the animals and you get rid of all the humans, what's the point? The whole point is us and the animals. So we should look at how we can take care of ourselves and then how we can clean up the planet. So the suicide issue is very difficult right now because you can't control how a person feels, meaning no matter how wealthy they are, no matter how good they look, they can see themselves differently. So that aspect is still unsolvable to me. It can be solved later, but it's still very difficult.
Right.
So I look at the other side of it. Part of people killing themselves is chronic pain. And I really think we can tackle chronic pain by different modalities, whether it's hot tubbing, whether it's massage with, DMSO, MSM, just natural. Every drug comes from something natural. So let's use a natural supplement to control the pain, to block the pain, to support that person. And once that pain is over, they feel good. So to me, I'm tackling chronic pain first. If we can save a couple of 100,000 to 1 million lives with that, then we can tackle the emotional pain. The emotional side, it's very difficult. I've known people who are Harvard graduates, brilliant in the mind, beautiful bodies, wealthy. They have everything on the outside. Somewhere inside them, there's just demons. Just like people who talk to themselves outside on the street in Santa Monica or whatever, people say those are crazy. No, maybe they're seeing another being. You don't know that. Maybe they are talking to actually somebody. We're an arrogant race that we think it's like, I always say, there's no such thing as disability. It's an ability. So people with Down and people that have those different abilities, Tourette's, they're different than us. Doesn't mean we're better than them because there's more of us. It means that they're just sharper in certain things.
Yeah.
So I think we're arrogant in that sense that we classify those as disabled, and really we're the ones who are disabled because we can't handle it. Anytime we can't handle something, we consider that thing to be a problem and wrong.
I love it. So being that there is this huge mental health epidemic, and some of it's coming from obviously like chronic pain, and some of it is just their biochemistry and how they're built. Do you have anything else you want to leave our audience with about being unstoppable?
Absolutely. Every night, write down what you did that day. Every night. So if I write down that tonight, I misled Lisa, then tomorrow I would call you and say, I'm sorry for doing that. If I told my mom I'm busy, but I'm not. So you can improve daily if you write down that night those things. That's very simple and easily. But I can't 6 months from now tell you, oh, Lisa, I was a jerk. Let's be friends. Because it becomes an epidemic. It's a habit. So you can break habits. I ate 10 donuts today. Okay? Then tomorrow, you saw it. You won't eat it. You write it down. You write down a few things that you did good that night, a few things that you didn't do before you sleep, and you can the next morning fix it before it becomes an epidemic, right? And then it's a huge problem.
I love it. So it's the emotional maturity piece of owning whatever your part is in the day and just fixing it.
Absolutely. I gained 256 pounds because every day I was like, oh, it's not a big deal. It's not a big deal. Blah, blah, blah. If I had written it down, I would have been like, oh my God, I gained 10 pounds, So you can stop it. You can stop everything if you talk about it that day, right? Or the next day. You cannot stop it a year or 2 years down the road. Good luck. I mean, you can, but that's a recipe for disaster.
Well, I love all your actionable tips, Mark, and just being real about everything you've been through and inspiring our audience to be unstoppable. And I know you're on Twitter all the time. So where is the best way for our audience to find you?
Well, you can find me on Twitter at Mark Hamade, or on Instagram on the Mark with Hamade, or email me mark.hamade@gmail.com. And one thing I'll say also about Twitter and social media, it has to come from the heart. Too many people want to do this or write this. If right that moment you think of something, you write it down. But before writing it down, think of it, how does it affect other people? Because sometimes we can be hurtful. And if you're hurtful, that defeats the whole purpose. The whole point of life, again, is to enjoy life and do that. Awards, all of that stuff. You can go to a trophy store and have 1,000 awards. You can go to Forbes and write them a check for $1 million and they can put you in the magazine or whatever. All of that is bullshit. So it's best to do it all from the heart because you care, because all of life is each other. And we came to this earth for a reason, and we're a sophisticated being, and we're going to leave this earth. So why don't you came in happy, why don't you leave happy?
Mark Hamade, I love that heart-centered piece. What a nice thing to end on. So is there also a website that we could send people to?
Yeah, markhamade.com. You can go on there and check out my videos and different things I've done.
Well, thank you, Mark. It's a pleasure to have you on here.
It's an honor, Lisa. Thank you so much and have a fantastic day.
You too. Thanks for joining Whole CEO with Lisa G. This episode is brought to you by my friends at Bossell. Looks like a beautiful dress watch, acts like a smartwatch, so you can go from your workout to a dinner, screen your calls, track your activity, even your sleep. Share this with your friends for a chance to win a Bossell watch.